I've been right here. Where the hell have you been? That's the question. So, yes, we're here, and maybe it's a little late, I suppose, but we're here. And what we have here is Ned, very old Ned. Here's a ripped up piece of paper that he's on. So it's Ned, Ned the Barbarian, and what Ned needs more than anything else is is a thong. Well, actually, much more than he needs that. He needs a purpose, and he finds his purpose in things to poke at with his sword. So we're going to put something back here, and we don't know what yet. Is it Bun Day? Sissy says it's every day is Bun Day around here, and so here we are. Hi, Sharon. Yeah, yeah, we made it. Um, in the photo, this is his shadow on the ground, which I made look grassy, um, and that's cool. Uh, but decided there being very little space around here. Whatever it is he's about to face off with is either small or somewhere in the distance. So what I've decided to do, and I decided this mere seconds ago, um, I have decided he's standing at the crest of a hill, and there's somewhat, there's a mountain. They're somewhat off in the distance here, and maybe not too distant, terribly, but Stellar just sneezed. Bless you. Okay. Um, so there's something out there, uh, and hills. It's a dangerous kind of place Ned lives in. There's very big monsters running around. Sharon says it's Bun Week. All right, yeah, Bun Week. So, so I'm thinking something like a big lizard, something that something that could fit down in this space, and he could still look like, oh my god, that kind of expression. I don't know how well I can pull that off. I'm not sure. Um, but we'll try it. We'll try it. First of all, just a great big shape. This is a lizard body. That's a lizard tail. It would probably just go off in that direction, but you can't do that. You got a painting. You got a picture here, so the tail's got to snake back around somehow, so it stays in frame. And its legs are going off this way. It's got other legs going off this way. I'm drawing it more like a big cat, but I'm going with a lizard. Don't change your mind. Um, it's heading downhill, and it's somehow not dramatic for it to be going downhill. I'm going to turn that lizard around and have him going uphill or something. Tell you what, let's just not commit ourselves to what kind of a creature it is. There's a big muscular back leg. There's a big barrel of a body. There's foreleg coming up this way with big claws, and dang it, the other one around here somewhere, and its head, well, its neck, its head. So, what the hell is it? I don't know. Some big gnarly thing or other. Big gnarly thing or other. There was an H.B. Piper story where there was a very dangerous creature on this one planet where they were exploring, and they came to calling it a damn thing. So there was like, look out, there's a damn thing. They'd have to run and hide from the damn thing. So this is a big damn thing. Sharon Moore says Gesundheit. Gesundheit. Yes. That's German for salute. In a couple weeks, in a couple weeks, I may have glasses and be able to read whatever it was you said. Um, I'm just getting readers. I don't need glasses to see around. I don't need them to drive. I don't see as well as I used to, but I don't need, I'm not so bad. I need glasses for anything, but my drawing distance and my reading the computer screen distance, um, they're both bad, and I'm constantly moving things in and out and getting tired and putting on reading glasses that don't really work and whatever. So hopefully that'll be gooder. I I post to a variety of groups, and they'll be about fantasy or fantasy art or sci-fi or stuff. And I see other people's posts, and every time I draw something that could even be remotely described as a dragon, I'm gonna get flack from people who say I did not do the dragon correctly. He doesn't have wings, or he's um, why isn't it breathing fire? Or I don't know. It's like it's like people don't realize the monster manual for Dungeons and Dragons is part of a game, and it's not real. and and I don't have to draw things exactly uh, the way it's described in the game. I'm even free to say that's not a dragon; it's just a big lizard. I can do that. It's not just them either. They're bad for it. The gamers, they're bad for that. Uh, but anybody, you'll see arguments about, well, this looks like thus and such from some video game. I don't know any video games, so um, I can't say. But it's like, as soon as I've decided that it's thus and such from this and that this video game, it's like, now you've drawn it wrong, because he would never do that, or he would never stand that way, or he would never carry that kind of weapon, or something like that. It's just like, Jesus, uh, where are you coming up with all these rules for fantasy? It is my fantasy. There's people apparently who really do believe in fairies, or they want to identify as people who would really believe in fairies. And so they'll jump all over people who drew a picture of a fairy and say, that's completely wrong. Uh, you know, they don't dress like that, or it's funny. It's So what I'm drawing here is a completely inaccurate giant lizard dragon monster thing. So Ned has something to fight with. That makes life good. Gives him purpose, sense of importance. This is my shorthand for, it's a very, very detailed, scaly creature with lots of wrinkles on and details on its legs and stuff. See how detailed that is? That is a common compliment I get. People say, it's amazing detail. I'm like, oh, thanks. I, I don't do detail. I don't do it at all. Uh, so it's funny. It's funny to get that compliment, and I get it a lot. just kind of suggest detail. It's like a placeholder. It's like detail goes here. If I was gonna do detail, that's where I'd put it, right there. So yeah, Ned needs a thong. If we don't give Ned his thong, we won't be on video for long. And his long dangling loincloth. Could be a short dangling loincloth, I guess. Yeah, that works fine. We go for those big wide belts. It's a very Conan sort of appearance. We like that sort of thing around here. And doing Ned. I could even make that mountain like really severe. I could really just do that, or maybe kind of like that. Oh, I like that better. Maybe it's not perfect, but I like it better. Mountain just sort of comes in here like that. See, I don't like these converging lines, like that tail tip goes right up to where that mountain is. Don't like that. As soon as I draw something and I've got those convergences, I want to get rid of it. So either make his tail go way up, like so. That would work. My other choice was to have like another hillside going that way, but I don't like that because it parallels the line of that sword. So I'm going to go with this. So I've got all these other groups that I like to post things to, and I'm starting to get some attention, and I have no purpose in doing that other than to uh, get attention, I guess. It's mostly something to do right now, but it's the pictures like I had here, where the guy was naked and his balls hanging down. I couldn't post them there. I've posted the original picture on my timeline, but I have a very very small audience. And I mean, there's lots of Facebook friends, but I'm sure that 95% of them don't actually tune in and look at my stuff with any regularity. Um, so the probability of somebody being offended, um, is relatively small, because I've got a relatively small group. But as I go putting stuff out there where there's thousands of people, possibly in some cases hundreds of thousands of people, um, then I'm asking for it if I do something like that. So I've got to dial it down a lot. Besides, it's unfinished. I want to give this guy an environment and a costume and all this kind of stuff. When I started sharing to all those groups, I was doing what I did on my page, which was the before and after thing. So here I drew this thing in life drawing class, and the guy was holding on to a stick, and I just converted that into a sword, and maybe changed the position of the arm a little bit, and so now I've got this kind of cool thing. Then the next day maybe I post uh, some after pictures where I started creating costumes and stuff like that. Particularly since some of these sites are about fantasy art and fantasy artists. Um, they're about things like, um, yeah, people who like making pulp fiction looking art and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, it's perfect for that. Except that there's some people who are gonna freak out and not let me do it. So I was doing it, and I got kiboshed, or kebabbed, shish kebabbed. I got shish kebabbed. Sissy, is kibosh a German word or a Polish word or a Yiddish word? Probably a Yiddish word. It just sounds Yiddish. Plus, it needs somewhere to hang that sword. That's true. Very true. But you need to put an ellipse in the middle of that sentence. Like, you need somewhere to put that dot 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 sword. Or maybe that's just me. Um, Sissy says, one of these days I need a Ned sketch in my house. Everyone needs a Ned sketch in their house. These are words to live by. So yeah, we can make that happen. So there was a time in Earth's prehistory when there were many species of crocodile running around, and some of them were ginormous crocodiles like we know them today. There were some very tiny ones, and there were some that ran around on their hind legs like little dinosaurs, and quite a variety. And I picture Ned's world having crocodiles as kind of the almost the dominant species out in the wilderness. So, and many different varieties of them, and so I default to crocodiles a lot because it's not an accident. Um, Particularly where Ned lives is very swampy, like Houston, and still a lot of these things crawling around. My sister lived in Houston, and she said she never saw. I don't think she ever saw an alligator, but she said it happened once in a while, just in her neighborhood. I mean, just just I don't think very big ones, but there's water like every place. When you see a farm, a cultivated field somewhere in Houston, they had to drain water off in order to plant crops there. They don't bring water to it. So there's canals. There's canals everywhere, but they're for getting rid of water, which was just a bizarre concept to me. I was like, in Arizona, we have canals for getting water over here because the land is so dry. But over there, it's just the opposite. So things swim up the ditches, and so they get critters everywhere. Um, you haven't heard that word? No clue. Okay, so we don't know where kibosh comes from. If I remember, I'm probably just saying it wrong. Yeah, you probably do know the word, and I'm saying it entirely wrong. um, I've been thinking sword this whole time. She says, ha. Yeah. So there you are. So yeah, he's got his stuff hanging down here, loincloth, and his big belts. I had to count his fingers to make sure I was doing that right. Yeah. So as I started drawing these people, these in particular their world that they live in, I wasn't thinking anything in particular. I wasn't writing a story or anything. It's just, um, I'd like to give this. I'd like to put this drawing in a fantasy world. So what qualifies? And also most of the time, um, I want to put some clothes on him, but I don't want to put a lot of clothes on him. It was a nude I did in life drawing class, and I pretty much want to leave it that way. Um, but it so I just went for skimpy clothes, and so it's just like my favorite stuff is the old sword and sorcery books like Conan and stuff. So I wanted to put them in that kind of a world, and I said, what are the tropes? What are the things that are always there? Well, there's always ancient ruins. Um, there's people not wearing a lot of clothes, and there's monsters coming up out of the depths of whatever ruined temple or whatever it is that somebody goes and explores. And so basically, I just my world building, such as it did, is every sword and sorcery trope there is. I just cranked it up to 11 and filled the world with swamps and ruins and monsters and people that don't wear anything. So Sharon says kibosh is not Yiddish and its origins are mysterious, but it dates back to the mid 19th century, according to Merriam-Webster. And you're saying it correctly, according to the source. I'll be damned. Huh. Okay. So it's maybe it's just recently Yiddish. I don't know. Yeah. All right. I'm going to put the kibosh on that conversation. Yes, I got kiboshed heavily when I first joined all these groups. several guys sent me notes saying I had to take this down, and I had to take something down the other day, and I had to take something down last week too, and don't make me do this again, or I'm just going to block you. And then some other groups gave me no warnings at all; they just blocked me, and so. So it really made me go, okay. I mean, I really can't do this, and also, I really want to just finish these. There's not much use for this piece of newsprint, as you know. It's flimsy and will yellow and crack. So it's mostly something I'm going to trace onto something else if I come up with something that I really like. And I'm starting to like this. I'm getting there. I'm 50% towards thinking this is cool. So it has it has been 30 minutes, even if those 30 minutes started 15 minutes late. Sorry about that. And if I'm not mistaken, today's Friday. I'm gonna hover my mouse. Yep, today's Friday, and so that means no 3 o'clock video tomorrow, but there will be 5 o'clock Zoom where you may art and you may whine along with Gilead, and we will put a model um, shamelessly ripped off from somewhere on the web, and we will put it up on the screen, and we'll all draw it. And since it won't be anybody that I actually know, we can ridicule and do whatever we want. So yeah, uh, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna draw from a live photograph of a model, and that's at 5 o'clock. So I'll post the link at 4 right here, being right here on my page, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.